When you see a black cat crossing your path, do you take it as an omen of bad luck? How about walking under a ladder or breaking a mirror? If you answered yes to any of these, then get ready to brace yourself because today is Friday the 13th. In many cultures, this date is considered unlucky for everything from making important decisions to starting a new project. But why? What is it about this particular day that sets it apart from the rest of the year? The answer lies in a combination of religious and cultural fears that have been passed down through generations. And they might surprise you. So buckle up and get ready to uncover the truth behind this infamous date. Part 1. Judas Iscariot. Let's start at the beginning. The number 13 has long been associated with bad luck. In fact, some people are so superstitious that they refuse to acknowledge its existence entirely. So they'd be surprised to hear that Jesus had 13 followers or that he was crucified on a Friday. That's right. The Christian community believes that Jesus died on the Friday before the Passover holiday. This holiday commemorates the exodus of the Israelites from Egypt as described in the Old Testament. But this wasn't just any ordinary Friday. It was also the day that Judas Iscariot, one of Jesus' 12 disciples, betrayed him. According to the Bible, Judas led a group of soldiers to Jesus' location and identified him with a kiss, which ultimately resulted in his arrest and crucifixion. Ever since then, the combination of Friday and the number 13 has been seen as a harbinger of doom. For Christians, Judas's betrayal was a monumental act of treachery that led to the death of Jesus. This event is so ingrained in Christian tradition that it's become synonymous with bad luck. Some even believe that Judas was the 13th person to join Jesus' inner circle of disciples. This belief only adds to the ominous reputation of the number 13. Part 2. Norse mythology. But the fear of Friday the 13th doesn't end at Christianity. Norse mythology also plays a role in shaping people's perception of this date. According to legend, Loki, the trickster god, crashed a party hosted by the gods and brought bad luck to the gathering. To make matters worse, there were only 12 seats at the table. When Loki arrived, he had to take the 13th seat next to the god Heimdall, who represented danger and death. The presence of Loki and the fact that he took the unlucky 13th seat turned the celebration into a funeral. Balder, the god of light and joy, was killed by a blind god named Hodr. This tragic event occurred on a Friday, further cementing the association between the day and bad luck. The story goes that Hodr was tricked into killing Balder by Loki, who had taken on an antagonistic role at the party. To make matters worse, Baldr's death coincided with the arrival of the giant serpent Jormungandr, also known as the Midgard serpent. It coiled around the earth and unleashed poisonous breath, causing widespread destruction and misery. This catastrophic event was also said to have happened on a Friday, adding to the growing body of unfortunate events that took place on this day. In Norse mythology, Loki's presence and the arrival of the Midgard serpent, both on a Friday, contributed to the notion that the day is cursed. Part 3. The Last Supper. The Last Supper is a pivotal moment in Christian history. It was during this final meal that Jesus shared with his disciples before his crucifixion that he predicted one of them would betray him. This act of treachery would lead to his arrest and ultimately his death. The idea that the Last Supper was attended by 13 people has also contributed to the myth surrounding Friday the 13th. Some believe that if Jesus hadn't been betrayed by Judas, he wouldn't have been arrested and crucified. Therefore, Judas's actions on this fateful day have left an indelible mark on our collective consciousness, shaping our perception of the date for centuries to come. Imagine sitting at a table with your closest friends and family when suddenly someone announces that one of you will betray them before the night is over. The atmosphere would immediately shift, and an uncomfortable tension would fill the room. This unsettling feeling would only intensify as each person at the table becomes a suspect in their own mind. The jovial mood would evaporate, replaced by suspicion and mistrust. Such a traumatic experience could leave lasting psychological scars on all involved, making it impossible to enjoy a meal in the future without being haunted by the memory of that fateful day. It's no wonder why the Last Supper continues to be a source of fascination and horror alike. Part 4. The Great Filter. There's another lesser-known reason to fear Friday the 13th. Have you ever heard of the Great Filter? It's a hypothetical barrier that prevents civilizations from becoming like us or further. The concept was first introduced by the British science writer Sir John Gribbin in his book The Search for Alien Intelligence. Published in 1984, according to Gribbin, the Great Filter represents a point beyond which technological advancement leads to self-destruction. This can be seen in our own history with the development of nuclear weapons and the threat of global annihilation. Many scientists believe that if life on other planets follows a similar trajectory, there must be some kind of great filter that prevents them from reaching the stage of self-destruction. But what does this have to do with Friday the 13th? Well, according to Carl Sagan, there may be a great filter that prevents us from achieving immortality. He theorized that despite our scientific progress, we still haven't overcome our destructive tendencies. As evidence, he pointed to the ongoing threat of nuclear war and climate change caused by human activity. In his book Cosmos, Sagan wrote, "We have learned to bring order to chaos, but we do not yet know how to bring our own behavior into order." This suggests that the great filter may lie in our inability to control our own actions, a problem that has existed for centuries and will likely continue to plague humanity for years to come. Part 5. The Black Cat. The black cat is a common symbol of bad luck, especially when it crosses your path. But where did this superstition come from? One theory traces the fear of black cats back to the Middle Ages when they were associated with witches. Cats have always been mysterious creatures, often viewed as supernatural beings that can communicate with the other side. This belief was only amplified during the Salem witch trials of the 17th century, when black cats became the animal of choice for witches to ride. Their independent nature and nocturnal habits also contributed to their eerie reputation. As witches' familiars, black cats were believed to possess supernatural powers and were often accused of bringing bad luck. They were said to be able to predict storms, cause illness, and even steal souls. In some cases, owning a black cat was seen as evidence of witchcraft. These beliefs were so ingrained in society that black cats were often put to death along with their owners during the witch hunts. The fear of black cats continued well into the 19th century, when they were seen as omens of death and bad fortune. Even today, some people believe that a black cat crossing your path means that bad luck is on the way. This superstition may seem harmless, but it has real-world consequences. Black cats are often the last to be adopted from shelters and are euthanized more often than other cats. Part 6. Walking under a ladder. Another common superstition is the belief that walking under a ladder brings bad luck. But this fear is not entirely without reason. In ancient Egypt, ladders were often used in construction, and it was believed that the triangular shape formed by leaning a ladder against a wall symbolized the sacred eye of Ra. This meant that walking through the opening created by the ladder would be considered sacrilegious and could bring bad luck. In medieval Europe, ladders were sometimes used as gallows, and criminals sentenced to death would be hanged from them. This gruesome practice understandably led to people avoiding ladders altogether. Today, we know that walking under a ladder won't actually harm you, but the superstition persists. Some say that the fear of falling off a ladder may have played a role in shaping this belief. After all, ladders are unstable structures and falls from them can be dangerous. Others believe that the fear of being trapped in a small space may have contributed to the superstition. When you're standing on a ladder, you're usually in a confined area with limited room to move around. This claustrophobic environment can be uncomfortable and even terrifying for some people. Part 7. Breaking a mirror. Breaking a mirror is another activity that's said to bring 7 years of bad luck. But this superstition has its roots in ancient Rome. Mirrors were believed to be portals to the underworld, and breaking one would allow evil spirits to enter the house and cause misfortune. In medieval times, mirrors were often made of polished metal, and the shards from a broken mirror were thought to be dangerous and sharp enough to cut and bleed those who touched them. Not only were the shards themselves harmful, but they were also believed to carry with them fragments of the soul. The Romans believed that the soul resided in the highest part of the body, and when a mirror was shattered, the soul could escape through the cracks and wander aimlessly. This belief led to the ritual of throwing salt over your shoulder after breaking a mirror, which was supposed to prevent evil spirits from following you. Part 8. Other superstitions. Of course, there are plenty of other superstitions surrounding Friday the 13th. Some say that to start a new project or make important decisions on this day. Others avoid traveling or taking part in important meetings. Regardless of whether you believe in these superstitions or not, they become deeply ingrained in our culture. Just knowing that Friday the 13th is considered unlucky can cause anxiety and dread. And in some cases, people's fears can become self-fulfilling prophecies. If you believe that something bad is going to happen, you may be more likely to make poor decisions or take unnecessary risks. Ultimately, The power of suggestion is a powerful force, and it can influence our actions, even if we do unconsciously believe in the superstitions ourselves. Do you believe in superstitions? Let us know in the comments below. If you enjoyed this video, please hit the thumbs up button and share it with others. Don't forget to subscribe and click the notification bell for more amazing videos. Thank you for watching.